Hello and shalom. Welcome back to the Pen In Podcast. I, as always, am welcomed by the Iron Pumper himself, Eddie.
Yo, damn! I'm gonna have a new title every week at this point.
I try to come up with different ones, but yeah.
That's a good one. I like that.
How you doing, my
Well,
friend?
thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good today. Let's see what was on the agenda. No, it's Saturday, so I'm gonna repeat the exact same thing I said last time.
Yeah.
Went to work. Today was a little different actually. So, went to work. Went over to my grandma's house. She just had her birthday. She is 88.
Ooh.
Yeah. Grandma is 88, so that was cool. Did the little birthday celebration. Um, Hung out there for a little bit, talked to them about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I rushed home and did some panic laundry, and now we're on the Pen and Podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nice. Well, today I did not expect like today. I woke up at like 12:30 or something. I woke up and I was like, oh man, it's kind of bright out there. What's and then I looked at the time and I was like, oh, oof. I was so busy just playing last night. And I actually started watching Stranger Things, so I'm starting that.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's what I was doing before before I got ready.
How are you
But
liking that?
it's actually really interesting. And I
Okay.
did see recently the season 4 came out, and
Right.
my mom was watching it downstairs, and I saw a spoiler. So,
Oh no.
so like I mean, it took man, but that's not gonna deter me. That's the only thing I know. I don't know how or why this
Right.
thing happened that I saw. So, but let's move into how we're doing. How you doing today? Well, actually, yeah. How are you
Um,
feeling today?
well,
What's going on?
I'm feeling good. Um, you know, I'm I guess we can do like in the little act, what are we doing section, right? And
Yeah,
that
I
with the how,
guess.
yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, I'm doing well. We're working through life. You know, we have our ups and downs. But I'm overall I'm in a good spot in my life, and I'm pretty happy. Um, Recently, as of this week, update in my life. So our friend Brandon, who will be on this podcast, I would hope eventually.
Eventually.
Um, he lives in Idaho. He just got married to a lovely lady named Emily, and he's a wonderful guy, and I've known him for about 17, 18 years. Known him since I was like 5, so known him for a long time. But he came to me with a little issue lately where he has been having trouble in the gym. So that being my specialty, as you knew from the intro, the iron pumper. um, I He came to me and he asked me to write him a program, and I'm no personal trainer or anything, but I like to think I have some confidence with what I know, and I decided that it would be something I would really like to do for him, and I spent pretty much this whole week working on that. It was a lot harder than I thought it was, but I ended up finishing it up, and I got a great review from him. He's like, "Bro, it's fucking perfect." He was super excited, so I'm really happy about that. And our friend Curtis as well. I sent it over to him just to kind of see if he wanted me to make him one, and well, that might be the next step. So yeah, we got the programs rolling out. Pretty happy doing that. Maybe a career in the future. Who knows? Um, Other than that, dealing with some other gym drama. I've sustained a minor back injury.
Oh no.
Um, yeah, so nothing like, go to the doctor X-ray vibes, but like
Yeah.
definitely not capable of like lifting at full intensity. So am I really fucked up? Not really, but it's kind of a setback. Just kind of monitoring it, trying to do all the movements that I can that aren't causing pain. That's pretty much the
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of physical therapy research lately because I can't afford to go to a real physical therapist. But so doing a lot of research, kind of just trying to attenuate the problems I've been feeling with this. But I'm pretty confident. I'm feeling positive, so we're gonna get through that. And then outside of the gym, been playing more of the Wonderlands game. I think, as a further review, maybe not a final review. I'm feeling real like mid vibes. Like the
Mm-hmm.
gunplay's good, but like in terms of the game, it's okay. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Um, it's just I don't know if it'll. I think it's because I was spoiled by the earlier Gearbox titles, the earlier Borderlands games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of endlessly comparing it to that. But for what it is, it's a pretty good game. So we'll leave it at like the 5 or 6 for now. Now that I've put probably close to 10, 12 hours into it. But yeah, I think that's it for me. What about you, Zach? What's going on with you this week?
Well, I started playing last week. I think it was right after the podcast, and I was making thumbnails for the first episode, and
Hmm.
I was just hanging out with my theater friends. I started up Mario Golf, as you see on the screen
Oh
right
yeah.
here. Yeah, dude, fucking Luigi kicked my ass in this. Like he just the AI is just really good in this game, and I just have to get good, pretty pretty much. But it was actually kind of fun. I didn't think golf games were gonna be fun, but I found this pretty interesting. And like, there's a bunch of
Like,
characters to unlock, and so
mhm.
it's pretty
Is it
fun.
interesting in like a relaxing sense? That's
Yeah,
probably what I feel like I would get from a golf game. It's like a relaxed vibe.
yeah, it is relaxed, and it's Mario themed, so I mean, why
Mhm.
not? I know they made a recent Mario. There's a recent Mario game that came out that, I mean, it was good, like, mechanical, like gameplay wise, but just no content. And it's how it was with the most recent Mario sports title, the soccer one, Battle League, Mario Strikers, which I was
Right.
actually excited to play, but I haven't really started it at all. I have no one to like
Mhm.
play with. I'm not gonna play myself, and there's like no AIs to play
Right.
with. Not like
Oh,
golf you can, but yeah.
right.
Moving on, Live Alive. I
Mhm.
absolutely love so far. I finished
Sick.
3 chapters so far. I'm on the fourth one,
Okay.
I want to say. I finished Distant Future with the little robot
Okay.
guy, and
Yeah.
that definitely takes from Alien and
Mhm.
2001: A Space Odyssey. It's a space horror, and wow, like I actually got scared, like, because eventually something goes wrong, and I was getting chased. And like, you don't know when he's coming, but you just hear the big thumping, and I'm like, oh my fucking
Yeah.
god! I like turned around.
Right.
Oh my, I actually felt scared, even though it was a 16 little bit game, remade. It's actually scary. And then the ending of
Damn.
that, I don't want to spoil anything, but
Mhm. Right.
it hit. It was kind of deep, man.
It's hitting different.
It did, and I was like, wow,
Damn.
this is gonna be a great game. Then I moved right
Awesome.
into the Twilight of Edo Japan, which you are a shinobi, and your task
Oh
is
yeah,
to
the ninja one.
go rescue somebody in a castle, of like one of the emperors or something, or I'm not entirely sure, but rescue him in a castle, and you have the option of going in super stealth and like just not killing anybody, or murdering everybody, which I murdered like 50. It tells you at the end too, because each time you kill somebody, it'll be like total deaths one something after
Mhm.
every time. So I got 50. I killed 51 people in that castle. And I was like, well, if I stealthily do this, I'm not gonna beat the boss. I mean, that's probably what I was thinking, and I was right.
Uh-huh.
That boss is a little
Yeah.
difficult at the end,
Right.
but I really liked it, and it was just fun to like upgrade and my little character. It only took me three
Sure.
hours, under 3 hours,
Okay.
and so did the other story, 3 hours. And then my next chapter was present day, which is literally like a Street Fighter. Like you
Mhm.
like you're looking to be the best, and with this character, you have to bait your opponent into like showing you like hitting you so you can learn their moves, which you do for like all 6 of your opponents. I just like was stockpiling their fucking moves in a bag like a little goblin. And so I ended up with like 15 moves at the end, and was just blowing people away. And that
That's cool.
took literally 45 minutes, I think, because it's
Mm,
literally you do 5 matches and then
right.
the match at the end, you know. I was like,
Yeah.
it's cool. It was short, and I liked it. And I
Yeah.
liked the combat and the stuff that presentation. The pixel art looks amazing.
Hmm.
So that's
Right.
great. And so
That is nice.
my next chapter I'm gonna do is the Unga Bunga times, the cave
Yeah.
child. So I already
Yeah.
started.
That's
It's pretty
cool.
funny because they
Hmm.
communicate in grunts. You know, it's like, "Ooh-ya, ooh-ya, ooh, ooh, ooh." Yeah, literally like that. Yeah, and like it'll show like pictures above, and you really have to kind of pay attention, because if you don't, you're just kind of just it's gonna go over your head like, oh shit, what do I do now?
How funny.
And then
Huh.
I'm
That sounds cool.
still on Persona 4 Golden. I love this. It's my favorite game right now. Like even more than like
Yeah.
Live Alive, because like
Hmm.
I'm just about to cross the 40-hour mark, and like it's awesome. Like I just like the characters. The characters. If you don't like the characters in these kind of games, it's just not gonna click for you. It clicked for me,
Yeah.
man. The combat, turn based, you know.
Yeah.
And the music. The music is also amazing. Like I have multiple songs of that from that game on my playlist right now.
Damn. It's really
So
turning up. Oh,
it's
because
really
that's the
turning
one
up.
with the composers from what do you call it? Final Fantasy, right?
No, no,
And
no. This is
or
different.
Kingdom Hearts.
That was Live
No,
Alive. Live
that was
Alive's
Live
music
Alive.
is great,
Never mind.
especially
Yeah.
in. Oh no, I actually finished 4 chapters. I did a Imperial China too, and that was awesome because you have to basically you're an old guy looking to pass on your art, you know, your kung fu art, and so
Well, yeah.
you get 3 disciples, and someone told me from the beginning, it's like you got to put all your training into one disciple, or else you're gonna get fucked in the end by the boss. And I
Right.
narrowly escaped. I put every training I did into my one disciple, like the Lei Kuang or
Uh-huh.
something. Yeah, that was
Uh-huh.
awesome too. Like the music in that, it's like a bunch of like. It was fucking
The
awesome, dude.
stereotypes. Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, low key, it did, but this is authentic though. I think.
Right, yeah. It's not a stereotype if they do.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Persona 4, like it's awesome. Like you collect these personas throughout, you know, in the dungeons, you know, and it's like every time you collect one, it's like you welcomed Izanagi into your heart, right? And they do
Mhm.
different Japanese names, and I recognize most of these names from, you know, Naruto, because that has a lot of Japanese history and culture into it. Like they
That's
mention
cool.
Izanagi, Izanami, Jiraiya from
Mm.
Naruto, and they mention a bunch of other stuff like Susanoo also, which my anime people who watch Naruto definitely know who that is. But like
Right.
that's awesome. I think that's cool, and it just keeps getting better and better. And like it's the whole motto of this game is, you know, finding out the truth in you, pretty much, like finding out like the real
Right.
like, because these characters, they face their shadow selves, and you know it's a reflection. It's like, you are me. I have to accept that what you are like is me. Like I don't know if I can go into it very well, but it's
Uh-huh.
also a deep game. It's how like those Persona games, actually this Persona game is,
Yeah.
it's like a real good like therapy almost.
Right.
Therapy for
It's
a
like
video game.
understanding that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like understanding that like the parts that make you up are like how do you
Yeah.
am I going to go in the right direction?
Yeah, you know, like you have
Yeah.
those, you secretly hate this person, or you secretly hate like, you
Hmm.
know, this job you have to do, or your family, you know, and or your desires, you know. Like there's this one kanji where I'm pretty sure this dude's like bi or something, because his dungeon was a sauna, and like it's very much, you know, just you know, it's a sauna where like,
Right.
and it's like, yeah, like girls are just so difficult to deal with, you know, guys are so much easier. you know? And like that was his shadow self, but his real self was like,
Right.
what are you talking about, dude? Like, I don't care. You're not me. Like that's not what I am. You know, it's stuff like
Okay.
that.
So
And he had to
he's like
accept his
hiding it.
true self. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what these
I see.
shadows are. And you know, I thought the game was over, but then one of my teachers got murked, so I was like, "Fuck, this ain't over." Oh,
Right. Damn. Sounds cool. I like it.
yeah. All right, so let's move right into the quick news. After that, very much not as long as the intro from last episode, so this is good progress. But
We're
yeah,
condensing.
quick news. I added this from last time, just some little side news. That Best Buy opens pre-orders for limited run physical games. Now, Eddie, I'm pretty sure you don't know who this company Limited Run Games. They
No.
pretty much what the title suggests is that they take games that don't get much of a spotlight.
Okay.
You've heard of like Scott Pilgrim Saves the World game. Have you heard of that?
Sure. I know the movie, and I'm sure they made a game
Yeah,
out
made a
of it.
game,
Yeah.
and it got taken. And part of the digital world we live in with games now is that like it got taken down due to some licensing issues, and there was never a
For sure.
physical release, so you couldn't
Mhm.
buy it for a long time, up until this company came in and start and release the physical version, so you have it forever, quote unquote. Even though like
Yeah.
disc rot is a thing, so you don't really have it forever, but I will probably
Right.
won't some that's gonna come out the way. But yeah,
Yeah.
Best Buy opens those pre-orders, so like games like I have it pulled up here. See some notes like Castlevania Anniversary Collection, like those old Castlevania games.
Right.
That's gonna be on
Yeah.
the
This is cool.
yeah,
I'm kind of reading about this. This is an interesting little
Ninja
company
yeah,
idea.
little company. And this game that recently came out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. It is such a baller game. This game is an amazing beat 'em up that everybody should play. And I got Jeffrey to play for a little bit. It didn't stick with him because he's very picky. We're gonna have him on the show next
So
week.
picky.
Very picky. But this game is awesome. The music's awesome. The sprite work is awesome. Like, oh my gosh. And like I bought like a little like collector's edition kind of thing this from that limited run, because limited run takes fucking forever to ship your stuff. Literally,
Right.
I ordered a coat like the KoTOR, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
This is different, but they ported the original 2003 KoTOR game to the Switch, and they did a whole little collector's edition for that, and I immediately hopped on it. Simp for Star Wars. I don't care. It's mine. But I bought that in November, and they're going to be shipping
Uh-huh.
it in Q3 of this year.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
They take forever. And I just got my little collector's edition of Shredder's Revenge today from another company, Signature Games. Shout out to them. Whatever, all the stuff that came in there, I was super hyped about. Like, I don't care.
Right.
It was definitely worth $80 in my opinion. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
all these games, Quake, some older games you just haven't heard of. They made a Super Meat Boy sequel. Did you know that's on there too?
You didn't know that? No.
So yeah, if
Huh.
anybody's out there, or you got some pre-orders, get those physical additions into our
Yeah.
next episode. I mean, next topic. Fuck. Quick
Yeah.
news. Xbox.
All right. Episode's over.
Xbox Series X/S consoles will boot up faster with a new update, which it already
Oh,
boots
yeah.
up pretty fast now. So
Right.
I was like, dang, if you found something, I was wondering, like, they really like put time to make this faster, or they just kind of like found out like, oh, they flipped the switch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we can make
Like
it
they had a
faster
big
now.
like 20 sheets of code that they forgot to delete. Oh, we can just get rid of it.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Huh. Well, that's fun. We like fast.
Fast,
Get
definitely.
you back in the box quicker.
Did you know how long like the Xbox One, like original Xbox One loading times
Oh,
were, like just to start
bro.
up? It was ridiculous.
Dude, it was horrendous. And like 13-year-old, 14-year-old Eddie was not having that shit. No way.
Especially with our our fucking, what is it called? Our like, you're not like, can't pay attention fast enough. What is it called?
Oh, like the adolescent attention span, like
Yeah, our
zero.
attention span was just, you're like, oh my gosh, come on, man, hurry the fuck up. Load my damn Xbox.
Exactly. Please.
Good thing it's getting started up even faster. It's good to hear.
Yep.
All right,
Spares the next generation.
that's right. Our last bit of quick news: Dark Souls 3 PC could be coming back online after 6 months. An update suggests, so this is even confirmed, but a while ago, 6 months, they had to take down Dark Souls 3, like the game, on PC because there was a way to for like a hacker to go in and like literally like, fuck your whole PC up. Like
Yeah.
it'll destroy it
Wow.
pretty much. Like it was very very bad. I
Wow.
surprised like they just found it now. So that was
Jeez, man.
it's very scary for those people who played Dark Souls 3
Yeah.
on PC. It's like all your
Right.
information could be literally handed out
Honestly.
for one game.
Yeah. For like such a developed company like FromSoft, like that's a huge oversight. Like that normally like
Huge.
there's such a sophisticated company. I would suspect that they would catch something like that, but I guess not. I mean, everyone's human. We all make mistakes. But
Yeah.
wow.
A
Yeah.
huge
And
mistake.
like yeah, that huge mistake could cost you a whole $2,000 PC, $3,000 PC if
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Well, the other thing too is, I'd put Dark Souls 3 in probably my top 5 games I've ever played. So I really appreciate that they're keeping up with it. A lot of developers would kind of just axe it and then never put it back online because then they don't have to worry about the problem. But like they're working, and that's something I really like about FromSoft is they don't really hang the towel or throw the towel in that often.
Yeah. So good thing they're working to fix this. So that's good.
Yep,
All right.
we love it.
Now get into the bigger news.
Big topics. Let's go.
Tactics
All right. I'm a.
ogres. What's up? What's up?
Do you want? I can. How about? Do you want to? Do you want to switch off each week?
Yes.
Who leads the charge?
Yeah, you know what? I like that. We'll take
All right.
turns
Let's do
each
that.
news
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
All right. So. All right. So. Hello. Welcome. I am leading the episode now. um, we got Tactics Ogres unannounced remaster has been spotted on the PlayStation Store. So we love when games come out of nowhere, especially remasters of fantastic, lovely games that we played in the past. Not something I played personally, but when you get anything like this, it's always a lovely surprise. So we have VGC, we have saying the Tactics Ogre Reborn name was trademarked by Square Enix in April and briefly appeared on the PlayStation Store in June before being removed. This new appearance, however, is the first time a full description and screenshots have been included. So this is looking good for anybody who is a fan of this game. Um, Once again, not something I played before, but it looks kind of like a sort of top-down vibe. Zach, I don't know if you've played it before. Have you?
I have not, but I played similar games like Triangle Strategy. This calls back to that a lot. So I'm actually really excited for this because this is like 100 hour like RPG kind of thing. You know,
Right.
it's tactical strategy RPG. So yeah, like Eddie said, it's kind of a little bit top down grid based tile based little RPG. You know, your units make a turn, then I think it takes the enemy and you, as you can see from screenshots, like your turn and then the enemy's turn. It just depends. I don't know
Right.
how that system works, but yeah, this looks really interesting. And we've the internet has been like leaking this game crazy. Like it was on a huge leak, the Nvidia leak from before. Leaked like fuck ton of games. Like that was huge. Like this was on there, and then in June there was another PlayStation listing, like a store listing was spotted on that, immediately taken down. So we know this game's coming. It's just a matter of when they want to release
Right.
it. But
Exactly.
this game is it originally released on the Super Famicom, which is, if you don't, people who don't know, it's the Super Nintendo, but Japan calls it the Super Famicom. It was released in
I did not know
1995.
that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
released in 95, and then was remastered slash ported to the PSP in 2010. And then now it's getting another little bump up in remaster today. I don't know when it probably looks like this could be a lot of stuff coming out this year. I don't know when they're gonna
Right.
bring this game out, but it's something looked like you're interested in.
I I have limited financial resources
Yeah.
nowadays, just because college hurts my wallet.
Oh, of
um,
course.
I think at a certain point in my life where I can have a little more free spending money, like once I'm in a career, I might look at more games like this, but because I really have no familiarity with it, probably not. I love the art style when I'm looking at these screenshots here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love how it looks. The RPG has always been one of my favorite genres of video game, but probably not for me. I'd say at this point in my life, but I think it's something that is probably really interesting. And being that it's a remaster, if it's a solid company, sometimes remasters can bring a lot more than meets the eye. You get a lot of companies that do more of like just like redo the graphics and then reship it. But
Mm-hmm.
some companies they sometimes they can surprise you and they add new features, even new stories. Sometimes it's pretty cool. So keep your eye out on this one.
Oh yeah, it's being done by Square Enix, who did Live Alive. That was a remake.
Yes.
Not the same studio doing the actual, but it's the same publisher, and I think this is going to be a good remaster. And I have a lot of games. I mean, if this comes out physically, maybe I'll pick it up. But I have so much stuff to play. I really need to stop buying
Mm.
things. It's ridiculous, honestly. But this looks
It's
really
tough,
awesome. I
man.
love the art style, like you said. I
Right?
would definitely play this for sure. Okay,
Rad. All right.
I'm gonna change
Well,
up from your Google Doc. I'm gonna save the big ticket news items for like kind of like the middle. So I'm gonna do two more stories. All right,
okay.
so Halo Infinite campaign co-op won't support online matchmaking. BGC writes. Xbox recommends using the Halo LFG or looking for group posts and Discord features to team up with other players. Now, I don't know who was matchmaking with randoms in a Halo campaign, but this is no longer a feature, and it's just another thing of add on to the list of what Halo Infinite is lacking in features. It
Seriously, dude. Halo Infinite has been the most telltale example of shipping unfinished games and labeling them as what's that term they always all the companies say now? It's like um live service. That's what they
yep,
call it.
yep,
Where all these companies they label, oh, we're shipping a live service game. It's gonna have new content all the time. All that means to me when I hear a company say live service is we're going to give you an unfinished product and you're going to deal with it.
yep.
So that's that's just they're digging their hole deeper and deeper. They're just going to end up in their own grave.
Yeah, I mean, personally, this doesn't affect me because I'm not matchmaking with randoms in a co-op
Right.
game.
I'm not either.
I was like, this seems like a very kind of small issue, but those pile up, and this is
Exactly.
honestly kind of disappointing. Like other, they don't expect like they kind of push it to the side where just use the Xbox things or just use Discord,
Yeah.
instead of
Use the third party applications that work on their features. Don't use us.
yeah.
Use other people. Like, come on, man.
And like in this same VGC article, it's saying that like 343 said it was targeting a late August release for campaign co-op for the final release. Bro, late
Yeah,
August? The game came out in December,
literally.
dog.
we're
Campaign
looking at
co-op?
we're looking at like day one features being added nearly 12 months after release, which is completely outrageous. Like 10 years ago,
Ridiculous.
can you imagine if someone tried to do that 10 years ago? The game just wouldn't sell. Like,
No. Yeah.
it's
Like,
insanity.
and you like imagine 10 years before that, like you'd have to ship another fucking disc out because you just can't be, yeah, it's honestly dumb.
Insanity.
Um,
Okay.
the next
Sidebar.
one, yeah, the next one
So,
is the multiverses one.
okay. So for these two big ones, I'm assuming you want to do the Star Warsy one.
Yes.
Do you
Yes, I
want? Okay.
do.
And I'll do the other. I'll do the other big one.
Yeah.
That's the one I wanted to do. Okay. All right. We'll stick to that plan after we're done with all these other topics. Okay. We're talking behind the scenes. You're about to figure out what the big topics are in a little bit here. All
All right.
right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Me go ahead.
All right. So we got Multiverses closed beta reaches more people on Steam than any other fighter game. Okay. Multiverses. I think this is a great idea. And Mortal Kombat's been like dipping their toe in it a little bit with all their DLC characters, like adding the Terminator and Predator and like all these like little like side universe characters, like just bringing in like this giant media empire into one fighting game. And so is Smash Bros. For its credit, you know, mostly sticking in the Nintendo realm, but like they're bringing like characters from other universes into this fighting game. Now, multiverses though, super awesome idea. You're getting characters from like all sorts of media, like Batman, Shaggy, Jake from Adventure Time, just like absolute like huge diversity of characters, which I think is super fun. But in that right, because I think it's so fun, I think a lot of other people do too, because we have, quote, more than 60,000 users playing the game at one time during this beta. So if we look at the other numbers, in comparison, this is in order. We have Dragon Ball Fighter Z. This is PC, by the way. 44,000 players. Mortal Kombat 11, 35,000 players. Brawlhalla, 34,000 players. Guilty Gear Strive, 31,000 players. But the point here is we have these massive fighter titles, and you can even further down the list, you have Mortal Kombat X, just like, and the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. So like all these games that have been like dominating the fighting genre over, I'd say like Mortal Kombat X came out like what 3 or 4 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. Like this game is crushing these giant games in beta, which I think is super cool. Like this game is going to be probably one of the best fighting games to come out this like maybe this decade. I don't know. It might suck, but if you know, this is a cool idea. People are really liking it right now. So I only see positivity with this game. What do you think?
Yeah, there's been a lot of replications of the Super Smash formula, and this game's not going to come close to that, but I think it's not going to replicate the same success, but I'll take back what I said. I think it's going to be the closest example of what we're going to see, because I mean, we saw Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl came out, and it tried to do the same thing. It's a platform fighter like Smash is, and it just didn't work. Because part of the reason it launched with Lily, when you're fighting, like the characters don't make any noise, so they're just punching each other. It's like they're not
I
talking or
didn't know
anything. Yeah. So stupid, but I think this looks really cool. Bunch of, I think it's Warner Bros characters, because I see Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, Shaggy, all stuff like that. I think they're under the Warner Brother umbrella, but
Yeah,
that looks really
like
cool.
I'm looking at this other article. Like they have the whole Scooby Doo cast. Bugs Bunny. Okay, if it's Bugs Bunny, that tells me Warner Brothers right away,
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they like own him.
they do.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
I think that can open it to most like Cartoon Network
yeah,
shows,
because
because I think they have ties.
yeah, Adventure Time, Finn and Jake,
Yeah.
they're on there, and
Hmm.
Steven Universe, one of those characters is
Oh
there
yeah, there
too.
he is. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's awesome. So any of those like Cartoon Network Boomerang, like the Jetsons,
That'd be
I'm
fucking
pretty
cool,
sure
man.
they're all under that umbrella. So that would be really cool.
Yeah, and I saw another story where I think it reached like 100,000 players, closed beta,
Wow.
and
Wow.
they're about to open it in open. So Yeah, a lot of people I
Jesus.
know have played it and like, yeah, dude, this is great. Like,
Right.
it's gonna be a close competitor to Smash. Smash is huge. I don't think, and for being on one
Right.
platform, it's absolutely huge. So, and this is going on
Exactly.
multiple. So maybe it comes close,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't. You know?
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking back to what I said about being the best fighting game of the decade. Now let me retract that statement a little bit. I don't want to go too deep into this. I'm just very hopeful about this. I don't want to say too much good because it might end up being a total flop, and that happens a lot nowadays. So we're we're gonna retract, but
Gonna
we're
retract.
gonna be excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. All right.
Right. So
Wanna
now we move on to big ticket item number one. Eddie, take it away.
wait a minute. What about these three on the
Oh,
second page?
what I was thinking was just sandwich the big two topics like in the middle.
Oh, in one. Okay, let's do that. Okay. All right. Big ticket. I love this news. I'm really happy about this. Rockstar Games, our beloved Rockstar, creators of such titles as Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, Bully, classic third person, wonderful genre defining, cultural, expansive games. GTA 6 is their next title, most likely.
Oh yeah.
And our big news is GTA 6 will have a playable female protagonist, which I'm excited about. And I'll tell you a few reasons why. I've been thinking about this week. So, um, number one, the best thing that I love about this is that Rockstar is sort of, how would you say it, broadening their horizons. They're,
Mm-hmm.
over the last, I don't know how many years they've been. I'm sure they've been in business for a long time, but say in their major popularity starting in the 2010s with like GTA 4 and GTA 5 in 2013 and Red Dead Redemption 1, which I think came out a little earlier than 2010s, but um, it's been, you know, harrowed as like the ultra macho game developer genre type thing. And, from almost any girl that I know that plays video games, I don't think they believe this at all. And a lot of games journalism tends to look past the fact that men and women just like to play games that are fun.
Yep.
So here in Rockstar's effects or efforts to make their games even more fun, especially with their stories, which are, I think, criminally underrated. I think having a female playable character is going to have such a giant increase in like perspectives that you can use in storytelling, and I cannot be more excited about that because like they tell stories so well through every character that they've had so far, and then in GTA 5 with 3 playable characters, I thought that was such a cool idea. And now we're getting a playable female, which I think is going to add such a huge dimension to their storytelling, and I'm super excited about this. What do you think?
Dude, GTA 6 is probably going to be the game of this decade. It is
Probably.
most likely. Like, it's insane how much hype is building around this game. Like, it's almost unimaginable. Like, no company could do this, and Rockstar is probably the only one that's going to come close to this hype. I mean, they're putting everything. I saw recently they canceled remakes of Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 4 and put more people onto GTA 6 because of it, because that's their whole focus right now is just GTA
Yep,
6, dude.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
this is going to be huge, and what the article saying, it also is going to take place in Miami, it's being claimed. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, the the bright light city, baby, Vice City. I think
Yep.
that's fucking so cool.
Yeah.
I've seen Miami, so I'm excited to see what they do with it. And
Hmm.
the guy who broke the story, Jason Schreier, he goes on to say that the game is at least 2 years away, and they
Right.
began development sometime 2014. They're saying, and
Right.
they back in 2018, according to Jason Schreier, they did an overhaul because staff called out their culture of crunch, bullying, frat house antics, which
Yeah,
I can believe from Rockstar. I mean,
I
come on.
absolutely believe that. If Blizzard can be as bad as they are, I'm assuming Rockstar has some bad apples in there as well.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah.
and they've begun the process of being more, culturally appropriate. I mean, GTA is not known for cultural appropriation, so we'll see how GTA 6 handles that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because cause they recently they in the re-release of GTA 5, like the PS5, Xbox Series X, Rockstar removed transphobic jokes
Mm,
and quietly canceled an online mode called Cops and Crooks after the George Floyd protests.
yeah.
So
So
go ahead, go ahead.
I think Rockstar is they're in a weird place where they've built a brand over being raunchy, kind of being a little more. I don't want to say edgy because it's like not really edgy. It's just kind of raunchy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like dirty humor, not really PC. So they built this kind of brand, and while I appreciate the humor, I think sometimes it pushes it a little bit. But I think as with all humor, I think that's part of the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is while it may push the boundaries, I think it's good to accept that and just kind of laugh about it. But I think what they're doing here is they're keeping. I hope this is what they're able to do. Is I'm hoping that they're kind of able to increase their diversity, increase the inclusiveness, but kind of remain with that edgy, raunchy level of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but really, the thing that I really see as so much value coming from this story is like the way Rockstar can tell a story. Seeing what they can do from a woman's perspective, I can't even imagine. Just seeing like I just like this blew my mind. I'm repeating what I already said, but like
Yeah.
when I saw how Rockstar portrayed Franklin's life in GTA 5 and like how it's so drastically different to Michael's life and like how his life is so drastically different to Trevor's life and then somehow meld these three guys into one unit, I think is so amazing. Like they portrayed this like kind of tough street vibe with Franklin. And I think Franklin had such a cool story, and he was, he's just a guy trying to keep his life straight and get out of the hood, and like try to really make something out of himself. And then you have Michael, who's like this distraught ex bank robber who is in witness protection, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
Trevor, who is just like a crazy crackhead living in a trailer, and like somehow they mixed all that together. So like the way that they can tell stories with these characters is so amazing to me, and if they add a woman's perspective, I think it's going to be such an amazing thing.
Yeah. And to go on what you said, it's the first female Latina protagonist. Well, and like making
You're
her,
right.
I think
Oh
making
man.
her a Latina is actually a good thing because one, you're in Miami, and so also it's
Right.
different.
So
It's
it's reflective of the city
Yeah, it's
that you're
different.
in. Yeah,
And like you said,
exactly.
actually the first playable woman ever in a Rockstar game.
Right.
So that's actually going to be it's going to be great. I think with the previous work, they can do so many things with this, and it's just
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah.
And according to Jason Schreier, production on GT 6 has been slower than expected because the pandemic and stuff. But
Right.
as employees grow accustomed to working at this new Rockstar, many say morale is higher than ever and that the cultural changes are well worth it. End quotes.
Nice.
So I'm
Yep.
glad that like they got their shit together. You know, before Activision Blizzard did. I mean, come on, Activision Blizzard. That's
Jesus.
another thing. But fuck, man,
We could have a
that's
whole episode about that.
we we should.
We probably should. I'm gonna put
Because
that in the
that's
special episode
ridiculous.
section of the document. All right, let's see.
All right, so this next news topic breaks my goddamn heart, man.
So sad.
Bloomberg reports Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game paused amid studio shake up. Now, this isn't delayed, you know. This isn't cause, oh, we need more time, okay, and we have to delay it. No, they are stopping development. They have stopped making the video game here.
Pain.
And
Pain.
God, I fucking love Star Wars, and I personally think Knights of the Republic 1 and 2 are the best pieces of Star Wars media ever. Like I haven't come across a better story told, a better experience that's just told to you ever.
Right.
And
Yeah.
God,
The thing I've always heard, I've never played myself, but this is I do in my free time I do a lot of watching and listening to videos about game history and um, you know, big important moments in video games and stuff like that. This is a title that I continuously these are titles, I should say. These are titles that I continuously see brought up in terms of success in writing and storytelling. And that's something that you can't ignore. Like when a game is continuously heralded for writing and storytelling, that means it is the pinnacle, it is the example. Like you run back to Half-Life 2, always quoted as best gameplay of probably the entirety of the 2000s, that created first person shooter gameplay. You have Half-Life 2 for that, and then for graphical enhancements, you have Crisis was like the leader in making games look good. And then when you look at storytelling and writing, what do they talk about? They always talk about KoTOR, always.
always, dude. And I got actually like a big story point in KoTOR spoiled for me, and I still loved it. The
Right.
the the storytelling in that game is incredible, and I wish I experienced that big story moment for myself, because that would have been awesome. And KoTOR 2 is awesome too, amazing. I think it's better than the first one personally. But
Right.
going on in the news, it is delayed indefinitely as this isn't quote is delayed indefinitely as developers at Austin, Texas-based Aspire Media try to figure out what comes next. Also in this, Aspire abruptly fired the game's art director and design director this month. So
Oh.
yeah, they showed, executives at Lucasfilm or LucasArts or whatever, Lucas Games, and Disney, the game, like a vertical slice, like a demo sort, and they're like, "Dog, this shit's trash. Fire him. Fire him.
Oh,
Stop what you're
jeez.
doing. Figure something out."
Oh my God.
That's sounds like what happened, and it's
Wow.
painful. Like they're saying this, the employees are like saying, or not the employees, but I think some in the article it says, yeah, developers said a more realistic target now would be 2025.
Wow.
2025. They said before it would release by the end of this year, and now 2025, 3 years away. Fuck, man. Like, that game needs a remake. Like, people just do not like the combat in that game, and also it's a 2003 game, so like doesn't
Right.
look the
Yeah.
prettiest.
No.
To me, that doesn't matter. Like, I was so excited for this. Oh man,
Yeah.
it breaks my heart to see that. But
Terrible.
this is like the first game, like Aspire, like a first AAA kind of game that the studio Aspire Media is actually doing, because they're known for just porting old Star Wars games to modern consoles. They did, Episode 1 Pod Racer or whatever. They did Republic Commando. They ported both Star Wars, was it Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast.
Hmm.
They're just known. They actually ported KoTOR 1 and 2 to the Switch and modern PCs. So they know the Star Wars games, and it just sucks to see that they can't get it together. Can't get it together. And I watched a video. Mr. Matty plays. He's a diehard KoTOR fan like I am,
Hmm.
and he was saying that, like, because he has his sources, and from what he was told, like what he saw, like the game looked great, in this demo that they showed, but those executives were not having it, man. They said,
Those guys at Disney, man, they'll eat you alive.
I'm like, dude, this sucks. Get these.
Jesus.
These are two like lead developers. One of them was design director, another one was an art director.
That's that's massive. Yeah. And for them to say, so the art guy, he commented, Jason Miner, saying that it was unexpected. His dismissal was unexpected. That's, can you imagine like getting totally blindsided like that? Like you make this product, this big demo, and you present it to your boss, and then he's just like, well, you're fired. Fuck you. Like, Jesus, man.
Yeah,
That's insane.
and these people, the developers, like thought like, yeah, this game's pretty. Like, we're doing a good job. Everybody's happy about this, and then they show it to their bosses, and they're like, "Fuck no, this sucks. Let's try
It's like
again."
it's like comedic because it's unexpected, and like it sounds funny just because like it doesn't make sense. It makes me laugh, but it's so fucked up, and like it's sad because like we're missing out on like a giant, or I wouldn't say I'd say like this next generation is potentially missing out on like a very important experience. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, and I know, even people I know today, they will just not go back to older games because it just looks bad. And
it,
I don't like that they think that way, but I can understand. But like, there's more to it than just graphics. There's the story. The
right.
story is unbeatable. The character is
Hmm.
unbeatable. Stuff like that. And so it's just longer periods of time where more generations can experience this. And I just hope it's not like outright canceled. Like, I think
Oh,
it's
that'd be so
just,
sad.
I think they just, they're doing an overhaul right now because what they had
Right.
sucked apparently, and so they have to start over somehow. And hopefully they get their shit together, because I will be there day one. They have a collector's edition. I'm there.
One.
We already saw. I'll platinum this fucking game, because right now it's a PlayStation console exclusive for like a year or something, and like it's going to PC also. But PlayStation has like the exclusive on this, and so that
Right.
also reflects on them, because they're
Hmm.
well, we don't put on a shit product. Oh, we know Sony for making absolute banger games, God of War, Last of
Yep.
Us,
Yep.
shit like that, and so they don't want to have it look poorly on them. So hopefully, with closing comments on this, I think this game is going to be good. It just needs apparently more fucking time.
Mm.
Any closing comments, Eddie?
Um, don't cancel it. It's not worth it.
Nope.
Please don't cancel it. Just strap your boots up and get back to work. It's gonna be okay. Don't let the. I hope the executives don't fuck it, but that's all I can say. Don't cancel it. It's not
Please,
worth it.
please don't do this to me.
Even if you want to do it in a selfish way, it's gonna make a lot of money. So don't cancel it. You'll make a lot of money.
Huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of money.
All right.
All right. Moving
I
on.
shall introduce another fun topic that I'm quite interested in.
Yes.
So we all love Marvel. You like Marvel, right, Zach?
fucking love Marvel. I keep up on all the shows, all the movies. They announced the Phase 5 and Phase 6 movies in the MCU. Dude, they're going all in. Like Marvel is capitalizing, and it's about time. And we need more Marvel games
Exactly.
in the gaming space.
Yes, because obviously we have the massive dominance of Marvel movies in the film industry. But I mean, do you really see that many Marvel video games? Not really. I mean, you get the Spider-Man games from on the PlayStation; those are very successful and everyone loves them.
Yep.
But I mean, other than that, you can't really point to huge superhero titles coming out of Marvel or DC, to be fair. But we got a big one here. EA is reportedly making a single-player open-world Black Panther game, which I think is super cool. It's thought to be in the works at a studio led by former Monolith Productions boss Kevin Stevens. So Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, love him. Total shame that he's passed away. Rest in peace. But he created a completely amazing character. I remember when this movie came out, I was working at the AMC in the mall by my house when I was in high school, and I used to go and watch it when I was on my breaks. And man, I what a cool fucking movie, cool world. I love it. And I think creating an open world game is a really intelligent move for them to make. A lot of movie video games, you could say, they're highly linear. But when you get something like this in the world of like Wakanda and that kind of universe that they created, I think that's so cool that they could do an open world experience with this game.
Side note, let's pause it right there. I totally forgot you worked at AMC in high school. I have literally no memory of you working at AMC. I cannot believe that. You worked there?
It's because, yeah, dude, you don't remember at all?
No, not at all. I don't remember you working at AMC. What?
That's funny. It's so it was senior year of high school. I worked there from, oh geez, like November to March. So November of 17 to March of 18. So not that long.
Oh
but I bet the reason you don't remember is I would work like during the weekdays, and they would schedule me really late, almost to the point where like I was cleaning theaters, right? I was an usher, that was my title. So I would clean theaters for the first few months I was employed there, and they would schedule me like starting at like 6 p.m. and I'd be there till like 3 a.m. Sometimes on a school night. It was horrible.
What?
It was, yeah, dude. I'd be like, I remember because most of the kids that worked there were like Smoky Hill kids. They went to another high school in our area. For those of you who don't live in this area, they went to another high school in our area, and it was literally just us cleaning the theaters 1, 2, 3 in the morning, putting out the trash, and they were like, "Well, we got to be up for school in like 4 hours." Like, it's criminal. So, yeah, worked at AMC.
That's terrible.
Yeah, dude, it sucked.
3 a.m. How did you survive?
It wasn't every day. It was like 1 or 2 days a week, so it wasn't that bad. But like once AP tests and finals came around senior year, I knew I had to quit. That's why I quit in March. I was like, "Fuck this! I can't do this anymore."
God, dude. Like I could like Friday night 3 a.m. You know, not that bad. About the school nights, like a Monday,
it'd be
or
like a Sunday night.
Sunday night. Oh my god, bro! Did you have first period off?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
Christ.
It was horrible. It was so bad. Yeah. God bless. It was horrible. Yeah, I remember. That's why I got so many detentions senior year. I was just late to calc every fucking morning because it was so hard to get up. It was bad. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Going back to the open world Black Panther game.
Yeah.
Why is EA doing this is beyond me. Why is like I know they can make open world games, but like why EA? Like why do they license it out to EA? EA Electronic Arts? Why? Like,
like EA, most criminal company ever, like terrible track record. I remember reading this one time. They've been voted like the worst company in America like several times. Like everyone hates EA. I That's my only skepticism about the story. I think I think EA creates good products in terms of how they look and kind of like gameplay wise, but it's the stuff they do kind of behind the curtains with like the sketchy like the microtransactions that were really bad a few years ago, and then like with Battlefield 2042's release last year, or was that this year? I think that was last year. Either way, 2042 terrible servers. The game wasn't optimized. I'm sure if it was optimized and it looked, and it was like all functional behind the scenes, it would have looked really nice. But like that's kind of my point. EA makes great looking games that play well, but there's a lot of bullshit behind the curtains that just never works. So I think they can create a pretty looking world, a really beautiful scene with what the filmmakers created. But I think EA and their dark corporate ways might fuck this up pretty bad.
oh my god, yeah. And person who broke this story, Jeff Grubb from Giant Bomb. He broke this news on a podcast, and he says it's very early in development, and it starts with Black Panther being dead, and so the player character assumes the role of the Black Panther. So I mean, I guess that's cool in itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's wondering how could they do this, Eddie? Like, when you think of the open world Black Panther game by EA, what comes to mind? How can you picture this game?
Well, the first thing I have to think about is what what open world games has EA done in the past? Can we think of any?
Off the top of my head, open world EA games. Gosh,
I don't
dude,
know if I can
I'd
think of
have to
any.
look this up. I'm gonna look this up
I'm
right
gonna do it
now.
right now.
Open world
Open world
EA
EA.
games.
Let's see.
Their own forum. They have an own forum on their own website.
I got the same search result.
Oh,
Jesus.
well, not really. Dragon Age. I don't think they're all. That's not open world though. That's like the closest there is to it is Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
All right. Okay. So you know what that tells me? They haven't really done this before.
Yeah, they have not done this
This
before.
isn't looking good. Okay. So let's use the imagination. Let's think here. What can EA do with an open world game that they've never made before? So Dragon Age 1, the original, the very first one, heralded as one of the greatest dialogue storytelling games ever. Dragon Age 2, horrible. So let's just focus on the first one and pray to God that they can replicate something like that. So we go from Dragon Age perspective. If they can really go off with a kind of highly dialogue based RPG type open world game, kind of like Dragon Age, I think they could have some success with it. I don't know really how they would do that in the constraints of the Marvel universe, though. That's what I'm a little troubled with. Is obviously they can really develop characters and create a narrative within this universe, but I don't know if they can create the living and breathing world that so many great open world games really give you. Like if you think, we'll just go straight to the best ones. We talked about Skyrim. Skyrim feels like it's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, you can talk about, Skyrim's story isn't that good. Whatever. It's not that bad. Don't give it so much shit. But the point is that Skyrim creates a breathing, living world. It feels like you're living inside the world. I don't really know, with EA's lack of experience and also the constraints of the the Black Panther genre. I don't know if they're really going to be able to create that living, breathing world that you really need for a really good open world game.
Yeah. So You know, I don't know that much about Black Panther outside like the movie. You know, Wakanda, very advanced civilization,
Hmm.
and right here in the article, Jeff Grubb says the player is going to take on challenges of becoming the new Black Panther, and it seems that is the setup for the game. And so, like, what could he be doing? I have no idea what Black
No,
Panther. I don't like. There's Black Panther villains like Namor, which is like pretty
right.
much our version of like an Aquaman, I think, or I think I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a comics book guy. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
Here, hold
like the
on.
setup. Or what's up?
Let's. The guy who is heading this project, um, former Monolith production studio, like we said, Kevin Stevens, joining the lead studio on the development of open world action adventure games, and so this is probably going to be his first one. He saw Warner's Monolith during development of Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor and Middle Earth Shadow of War. Now, Shadow of
Uh,
Mordor, I'm I'm remembering right, that is an open world game?
it is. I think you're right because DJ played quite a bit of that. Our friend DJ,
Yeah.
he always talked about that. Um, Now, the one other thing I learned is the sequel to that game, The Shadow of War.
Mhm.
I think that game got some major flack. I think really because of its microtransactions, I think it was.
Yeah, the microtransactions were
Yeah,
pretty egregious, and they've toned down. I mean, it really depends because EA recent years hasn't been really about the microtransactions and the full price games as much as they were, because
right.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, people were just waiting for
Exactly.
like, yo, when are they gonna charge us for more lightsaber colors? You know, when are they gonna charge us for the outfits? And it just didn't come. And part of the reason for that
Right.
was because Respawn was doing that game, and I'm pretty sure they were like, no, we're not gonna milk our customers out of this. It's a story. You play it, you buy it. That's it. There's just no more. There's no season passes. There's none of that. And it seems like what they're going to be doing for the sequel to that, Survivor, or that, yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Right.
So
So
go ahead.
my I'm not so much worried about the microtransactions. But basically like with his involvement with that, that tells me it doesn't really tell me anything. It's kind of just projecting.
Yeah.
I I kind of just yeah. I hope we'll just take it at this. You know, both games have great reviews. Both games are well loved by their fans. So I think we have a team lead that is well experienced in the industry, dealing with large companies, large releases, not like little small things. So we have an experienced guy leading this project who has had success. So you can have experienced guys that have had a lot of failure in the industry, but this guy's had success. So I think that's a really good positive to look at. However, um, I don't personally know the Middle Earth, you know, the mechanics that well. I don't. I remember I watched some gameplay, but never that much. But like, do you think this is because I you played it right?
Yeah.
You played one of them,
I
yeah.
played Middle Earth, the first one, the
Do
Shadow
you
of War.
think do you really think that Black Panther could be kind of put into obviously it won't be nearly the same, but like do you think Black Panther could be put into this kind of, you know, type of game based on that with his experience with that?
No, I don't think so. Because the whole point of Shadow of Mordor, the whole big mechanic in that game was killing generals, and you know another one comes and
That's
takes
right.
its
Mm-hmm.
place. And they liked it so much that EA like patented that mechanic. It's like they have that
Really?
on locks. Yeah,
Wow.
and
Yeah, I
like
remember yeah,
weird.
from the gameplay I did watch. I do remember seeing the generals and they'd have like traits and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can't I can't really see that mechanic in in this open world Black Panther game,
I couldn't either.
because the whole point of Middle Earth is that like the whole place is at war with the orcs, shit like that. People are at war with each
Right.
other, and so the generals make sense, but uh, Black Panther has its main villains, and so you can't really have like another Namor be like, oh, I have water. I have a different water attack. Fuck you, Black Panther.
Yeah.
So I
No.
don't think that's something they can do. I I don't know how this game can turn out. Like, you have your abilities. Like I'm just gonna go like it's like the Spider-Man game. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, I really don't know. I don't want to spew stuff out of my ass that doesn't make sense, but this is
I think that's all we can do in this podcast: spew stuff out of our ass.
very true. But I can spew stuff out of my ass with reason, just like
That's true. Yeah.
like with other news topics.
Right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think we'll just leave it there. I'm hopeful for this open world Black Panther game, and we'll see how it's very early in production. It said so. We won't see it for 3-4 years, I'd say. So
Yeah. I hope it's cool. I just wonder what they can do with it. I really don't know. I have no idea.
yeah, okay, all right. Moving on, some China stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it has been revealed by Vice that documents show how Roblox plan to bend to Chinese censorship. Filtering games. This is all on Vice. This is a quote from Vice. Filtering games, blocking maps with Taiwan, handling quote historical facts, end quote. Roblox was prepared to go all in on Chinese censorship, according to newly released internal documents.
Wow,
Initial
dude.
thoughts?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The the headline makes me laugh because end censorship I think is hilarious. And then also the little subheading where it says, what they're going to do, filtering games, blocking maps and stuff like that. The quote unquote historical facts is one of my favorite things about like mass dictatorships is like they have a way of like educating their people about history that's completely false. Like historical facts about like China being the greatest country of all time forever and never having starved tens of millions of people when Mao was in reign and all that. Oh my god. But literally like China it's fun to laugh at them because they're just a big communist monster country and they do crazy shit, but like they're a little scary. I can't lie. Um, they're basically getting away with an entire genocide as we speak.
Yep.
Concentration camps and all.
Yep.
We all know that. And they're still competing in the Olympics. They're still invited to world summits, and they are well respected at these world summits too. And in America, we trade with them and get almost all of our stuff from them, and it's terrible. So um, I think this is kind of another example of games really going for the money by trying to open the Asian market with China, because we had the same thing happen with a few years ago. There was that professional Hearthstone player. He made some comments about China's policy having to do with Taiwan, and
Yep.
he what was it? Oh yeah, Blizzard banned him or something like that.
Yeah, they banned
And
him from competitive play, I think.
exactly, yeah. So we have these big game companies valuing the money that they can get from the Chinese market over free speech and like making sure that large companies don't provoke country or promote countries that commit genocide. you know they're securing the bag over making sure that people are alive, which I think is yikes. We have this happening in a very similar way to what Blizzard has done, where we have Roblox literally bending their form of game to fit the Chinese, way of law, which I think is just enabling the Chinese system to oppress more and more people, which I think is so horrifically sad. I feel so bad for the people that live there and the people that are suffering the consequences of what the Chinese government is doing. It's so, so sad.
Yeah, man. Like, why isn't the world doing this with China? Like they Russia is fucking shambles right now because they wanted to
Literally.
invade, literally in shambles, and they're like Xbox is like not releasing any new games there, like the fucking they're kicked out of like the FIFA World Cup, stuff like that. But China, they get a pass. They get a pass, man, because they're so integral to the world's way of living. That's why they get a pass, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Other things too. It's like that's a broad statement, but it's so ridiculous. And like history books, their history books are gonna paint them so much differently than everybody else's.
Exactly. And the horrific problem is it's it's not that they're just integral to the world society. It's the reason that this keeps happening is because China is so integral to the world economy. If you don't work with China, you're losing. You really
Yep.
are, which is such a shame because China owns us, at this point. It's almost as if we're dependent on them. I'm sure we will be in a few decades. But basically, these game developers and these game companies are going to keep working with the Chinese market and bending their rules to fit with Chinese censorship just to make more money. And I think that's completely indicative of, they say, like the definition of insanity is, like doing the same thing over and over again, even though you face negative consequences. These companies are really committing to that insanity because they don't realize that their own downfall will become a reality because they're helping China. They're going to help China, and then China's just going to come over here and just collapse our entire economy, and then there'll be nothing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And China is totally happy to do that because they are going to continue to grow because they want to grow, and they're going to crush everybody in their path.
Literally. Yeah.
Crazy.
China sucks. That's the whole topic of our little subtopic that we got away from. But so last year, Vice says Roblox launched a version of its game in China called, how do you say this?
Where is it?
I don't know how to say it. That was pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb of me to even attempt that. And they continue saying, like other Western gaming companies that have entered the lucrative but heavily regulated Chinese market, it had to partner with a Chinese company, Tencent, which has been very prevalent.
Yeah.
Who would operate the game in the country, and Roblox had to host user data on local servers as required by law. But newly released internal documents reveal that Roblox assumed and prepared for the possibility that any Chinese partner it worked with could try to hack Roblox. On top of that, Roblox expected Tencent to copy the game and create its own version of it. And they, like, this was initially, like, Roblox wanted to do this, but they like backed down from it. But imagine Roblox in China.
Natural disaster.
It's literally natural disaster. They just like whatever China like most recently got affected by, they just couldn't be in.
Doesn't exist. Tornadoes aren't real. Nope.
Tornadoes don't
Tsunamis,
exist, man.
nah, they're not real. Earthquakes, nah.
Tsunamis,
they don't exist.
Sorry, bro.
Nah.
You're dead.
Nah.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Flooding, not real. Nope. China's better than any flood could ever be. Come on, bro.
The great China, man.
Yeah. Wow. Wild. Well, we'll reap the consequences at some point. But for now, China, ball up. Y'all are doing well. Keep it going.
Ugh. All right. For our last news topic, this is actually going to be probably shorter than our last episode, but tis what it is. All right, Eddie, take it away.
All right. So we're moving into a lovely little feature that started in the 2010s where for some reason consoles just started giving us free games for having their subscription service. You know, talk about Xbox games with gold, PlayStation Plus, but specifically here, we're talking about PlayStation Plus. So this August lineup for PlayStation Plus is gonna have like a bunch of like fantastic titles. Like we're talking about like, so we have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. We have Yakuza Like a Dragon and Little Nightmares. So these are all like super. I've heard, we all know about Tony Hawk Skater Pro Skater. Little Nightmares I've heard of as well. And then Yakuza, I've seen that guy's face somewhere before. So it tells me that it was like a huge game. But I haven't played it. But like specifically with Yakuza, so Sony also announced today 8 Yakuza games are headed to PlayStation Plus this year, 4 of which will arrive in August. So we're getting like basically an entire IP for free.
Yeah. That's crazy. And these games are like good, really good, especially for like we'll stick with PlayStation Plus, then we'll do the 8 other Yakuza games. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, fucking awesome, dude. That's like
Amazing.
a faithful ass remake. It's so much fun. I bought that like day one because I was like, dude, Tony Hawk's fucking killer. And I tried my hardest. Like I didn't finish playing it, but man, I would go back to that. Like I own it on Xbox, but I'm just gonna download it on fucking PlayStation 2 because that's what you should do for all your Plus games. Just
Yes.
add it to your library. You don't have to play it. Add it to your library for future use. Moving on to like Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've heard that's like one of the like best Yakuza games we've had. It's different too from the other ones. The other ones were like action, RPGs. This one's a turn-based one. And it's so wacky. Like Yakuza is known for just wacky ass shit. And if you don't know what Yakuza is, it's basically the mob in Japan. And so and like
that's what it is.
Yeah. And so I've seen multiple clips from like various Yakuza games. Do you know that stupid, Friday night thing, Eddie? The Friday night meme, just look it up right now. Like keep talking.
Okay. Let's see. Friday night meme.
Friday night meme Friday night meme. Just look it up.
Okay.
Like in one of the Yakuza games, it takes place in the 80s, and so they have like really like weird just dance moves of the two main characters and Yakuza.
All right, let's see. Friday night.
And like I actually bought recently. I literally bought it today, like the Yakuza Remastered collection of 3, 4, and 5, and I bought Yakuza 0, which is what the Friday night meme is from. And I have it on my playlist. I play that every Friday.
Oh my god, bro!
Are you seeing
These
this?
dudes dance.
The dude, like it's so wacky and just like out there. Like I'm excited to play that. Like
I like how they dance in sync.
Yeah, they dance in sync too. And just random shit like that. Like a Dragon is just so wacky. Like takes itself seriously at times. But then you use like a fucking like a big ass like sandwich to just fight people with. Like kick their ass.
Bro, there's so many of these memes. There's like this, those those things at like the fair, the tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah, the tilt-a-whirl.
There's like this video of this guy dancing in the middle of it with the Yakuza music in the background. Oh, these are great. Yeah, highly recommend. Look at the Yakuza Friday night memes. Incredible.
Right. Those are two big headliners of the PS Plus for August. Excuse me. But then Little Nightmares is like a nice little indie like walking simulator game that like it has like a deep story, and you're just walking and stuff.
Right.
So that's fucking. It looks cool. Like all three of these games look like bangers, dude. Like you're eating good if you pay for PS Plus this month, man.
Absolutely. Yes.
And I will be playing Like a Dragon. I don't know what to play first, Like a Dragon or that fucking Yakuza 0 with the Friday night thing. Because I'm gonna play it, and then that thing's gonna come on. I'm gonna be that Leonardo DiCaprio thing, like pointing at the screen. It's like, oh, I know that. It's I recognize it.
Hey, I see it. Yeah.
It's like I understand that reference.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. So moving into PlayStation Plus, its extra and premium member tiers will be getting 8 Yakuza games. And let's see if I can find the list here of all 8. Yeah, okay, so here it is. So it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's like literally like 1 through 6, pretty much. So it's like Yakuza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 0. Am I counting that right on my hand? So there's Yakuza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. No, I'm missing one. It's like Kiwami or something like that. Doesn't give me the list on VGC's article, but that's fucking ham.
Absolutely.
Like, dude, if you pay for the extra tier, whatever. If you're a member for the extra tiers, you're eating good. And so like this is like they're competing with Game Pass, and so like, Game Pass is
True,
huge.
man.
And this isn't
Yes.
really like PlayStation to do, what Game Pass is doing, dropping day one games into the service. But they did that with Stray, and I mean it's
That's
not a
true.
AAA game. Like that's all Microsoft's like things. Like you can play the biggest titles day one on Game Pass,
Exactly.
right? And so Eddie, if you had to, I know you're paying for Game Pass right now, but if you weren't and you looked at what PlayStation Plus is offering, like, have you seen PlayStation Plus Premium, like the most premium tier it's offering?
Really, no.
Because they're doing pretty much basic PlayStation Plus. You get like 3 games every month,
Right.
but then you have another tier where it's adding like PS4 games on there, like Ghost of Tsushima,
Oh,
Last of Us Part 2. Like it's like previous games that they've done, like big hitters, into that tier. And then
okay.
the premium tier is the classics title. They're adding like PS2 games in there, PS1 games in
That's cool.
there, and
Yeah.
PSP. But they're doing PS3. The PS3 games, they're being streamed, so it's not like actually
Yeah.
running on the soft, which sucks. But PlayStation 3
Sure.
games, you want those, bada bing, bada boom. But
Yeah.
with
No.
they're doing
No, I'd
something
say.
extra. Hold on, sorry. They're doing
Okay, go
something
ahead.
extra with the PS1 games. They're adding like a replay feature, like, because some of these games they were for that time, and so there's like a
Right.
replay feature. Go back. You mess something up, go back a couple like
Oh,
a minute or two, and save states. You can save at this certain point. Oh
I
shit, you
like
fucked
that.
up. Go back to it. It's not
That's
in the
cool.
game. It's like how the emulator is running it with it.
Sure.
Sorry, I cut
Huh.
you off, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, based on what you kind of told me there, I think I love Game Pass and I will continue to subscribe to it. But um, if, now that I know a little bit more about the PlayStation Plus, if I were to own a PlayStation, I think I would definitely subscribe to that higher tier. First of all, because my biggest criticism of Game Pass is yes, you get the giant titles day one on Game Pass, which is like, the entire pull of the whole operation. It's fantastic. But um, the rest of the stuff on Game Pass, you kind of have to like dig through the weeds a little bit. Like they kind of put, I don't want to say like filler games, but like games that, they're like decent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're not like top tier. Now, what it sounds like Sony's doing here is that they're kind of hand picking the ones that they know the fans really like. And that's one thing I notice with Sony a lot is that they're a little more emotionally intelligent in terms of like understanding how their fans feel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, I think, because they're a little bit of a bigger company. their focus isn't consumer friendly as Sony. So I do think that I think this is kind of just highlighting the fact that they kind of get the fans a little bit better than Xbox has in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Good point. Good point right there. So that is all the news that we want to talk about for this past week. But there was something else I just wanted to.
This is the best part of the episode.
I like that we're ending on it too. So
Yeah.
I saw this on Twitter, and it was the most ridiculous take, most dog shit opinion. Like, you can have your opinion, but it's a stupid fucking opinion. For this one, so this guy says, "The Last of Us on PS3, 720p gaming, people. Sometimes 1080, but mostly 720p. Looks better than anything Xbox put out in the last 2 years. Space PS3 period." So, like, let's just look at Xbox's Forza Horizon 5. It looks so much better than the last. Like, this guy did not think this through. He's a Sony fanboy, and it is so funny to just watch from the sidelines. It's like going to the zoo. I see this guy, and like, he's entertaining. I don't take him seriously. He is something for me to look at. He is entertaining.
I just look at this tweet here, and the thing that adds to it is, I'm looking at the timestamp. So this tweet was posted 5 days ago. So this is this year. So he's talking about from 2020 to 2022, right?
Yes.
So anything that's come out in the last 2 years on Xbox is more dog shit than Last of Us on PS3. Insane. But my other gripe with this tweet is this guy. He wakes up in the morning. This tweet was posted at 5:44 a.m. Twitter for iPhone. This guy wakes up and he's like, "Damn, I feel like burning the fucking world down today." 5:44 a.m. puts out the worst opinion on graphics I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. Oh God, like, dude, I can't. Dude, I would even go as far to say, like, the Skyrim remaster looks better than Last of Us on PS3. Like,
yeah, I can see that. Oh my God.
It does. And it's 60 frames and it runs well. Like, come on, bro. Like, let's get real.
Oh my God, dude. And I looked at his other tweets. Like, this guy he's an instigator. This guy was an instigator. Like, he was doing it for, and like I could tell his shit was ridiculous when I could see all the replies. It was like 100 or so replies, and it was just like, dude, this opinion is absolute shit.
Homie's been ratioed to the maximum degree.
Yeah, like, you're just wrong.
Nobody agrees with this. You'd have to be the most, like, blind Sony diehard fanboy ever to agree. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, my God.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
That is all we have for this week's episode. Look out, because next week we're doing one of our special episodes. My friend Jeffrey and I will be joining us in the next podcast. We're going to a gaming convention called Game On Expo. And so we're going to be talking about our experience there. And then the other half of the episode, because Jeffrey and Eddie are big gym rats. They love going to the gym, working on themselves. So they're going to be talking about that. It's going to be a special episode. Hopefully it inspires me to actually pump some iron. You know what I'm saying? Any closing comments, Eddie?
Well, yeah. I think we had some good news this week. I'm really excited about the GTA news. I'm feeling hopeful for playing more of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to see if my opinion reaches past the mid zone. I think next week's episode is going to be a nice little combo episode because we get the expo, which I'm really interested to hear about, and then Me and Jeffrey is one of the strongest people, legitimately. Like, so we'll do a little preface to this episode.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, me and him have been thinking about doing a powerlifting meet together, and we were looking at some of the Arizona state records for bench press, and Jeffrey is completely capable of like destroying them. So like this guy is one of the strongest people in the country, if not the world. So if you're interested in fitness at all, I think this next episode will be a great kind of peer into that. So yeah.
Yeah. That's all we have for Pen and Podcast episode 2. Everybody take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye everybody.